Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2 from the recent War Chest Team League. Two of your top 10 favorite StarCraft 2 commentators have drafted a team out of a total of 8 teams. In the bottom left, for the War Pigs, Pig Soldiers, it is Dream. And in the bottom right, for the 4 Shades of Protoss, Fear Dragons, cheesy, slippery, slimy, other adjectives along that. Just look up, Jimmy, look up synonyms for slimy. Dank? Anyways, the dankest Protoss from Team Alpha X, it's Astrea, joining others like Neeb and Trap on Fear Dragon's team. Protoss versus Terran. We're looking over the highlight matches of the War Chest Team League. You can check the whole thing on the StarCraft 2 YouTube channel, which I would like to advertise so people know about, because it was held on YouTube, as Blizzard has an agreement with Google, and that's why GSL and other tournaments are held with YouTube streaming now. But YouTube video playback is just great, isn't it? Do you like it? Or do you dislike it? I personally like it, so depends on what philosophy you subscribe to, personally. Walling off the front is Astrea. Now, we're seeing this more often. Neeb's been doing this. Neeb's on the team as well. But Neeb has been doing a lot of just walling off the front. This map, you can't actually jump in the back with a Reaper, so there's no real reason to even worry about that. If you wall off this area, the Reaper can get in pretty much only the front and the natural ledge. And the SCV, of course, gonna see all this. Not that there's much you can do to punish it if you're not already preemptively going for like a proxy or something. But it's not gonna be proxy factory Hellions. It's not gonna be a super quick starport. There's only one gas. There's an expand. And then it's not gonna be a cheesy opener on Golden Wall, which at some point, maps like this, and it's a non-standard map, which means it's almost universally hated by professional players. But as a non-standard map, for a while, you get every cheese in the book. We're going to float in some buildings. We're going to do tank pushes. We're going to do DT drops. But eventually, it kind of goes back the other way, where players are expecting cheese so much, the big macro plays end up being effective. It's a much more exaggerated version of your standard meta, where if people are learning how to take a quick third, then maybe Terran set up a push to deal with it, or vice versa. I Depth Shade scouted across. Hey, Dream! Dream! He's like, no, I saw it in myself. That doesn't even make sense, Dream. Grammatically. What are you saying? Shh, you wouldn't understand. No, what? This way, you can have more SCVs mining, because they take longer to mine. Well, it appears common sense won out. Of course, I'd imagine the probe was blocking the original location for the command center. And speaking of command centers, a third CC in the main. It's going to be full macro, with just a Cyclone for defense as well. Astrea is doing 1, 2, 3 extra gates, so that's going to be 4 gates total. I'm great at math. Wait, 5. 6 gates. 6 gates total. Alright, I need both hands. A 6-gate charge lot play with a prism. So he's obviously intending on a big warp in. I wouldn't say this is committed. Like, usually you'd slap a Dark Shrine with this, or some other sort of kicker. 8 gates is how many. If you're going to go all out, all in, yes, that made perfect sense, then usually you go for 8. But Astrea is holding back a little. Maybe he goes for the golden minerals? We will see. Well, the Warp Prism charge is done. There is he hasn't even seen the third CC. This isn't a reaction to anything. This was just Astrea's build going in. If he knew this was the third command center, I don't think anything would change. Maybe you add a couple more gates and make sure you can knock him out. right now as it comes in. The first Warp Prism, very important. He's got to keep that thing alive. Unfortunately, though, the Cyclone does lock on. Gets the scan, knocks it out. Disaster for Astrea. That is the worst possible thing that could have happened. It went from potential, like, if he warps in 6 charge lots, what stops them? Explain to me. Explain to me. Come here. Get to the comments. Explain to me what stops them. Just a general sense of humanitarian empathy? No! They're zealots! Come on! They're not moderates! They're zealots! They're not gonna stop, but the Warp Prism was, so. That means the game will go on, and there are 3 CCs, and he's taking the backside gold. The undergold. If you would. The undergold. It sounds like a boss in a knockoff Batman game. Known as Midas to his friends. Observer taken out. There are 3, like the 3rd command center was spotted. Walls are a pretty hard counter to melee units. The Zealot's probably wondering why, with all the advanced technology of the Protoss, they're still melee units. But then the Protoss respond, you may charge a lot, but you don't charge enough. And thus, they died. Of cringe. The Marines stepping away. Astrea's just mining up the undergold. He's just, what? Yep, the tank's still there. I don't know where you thought it would go, Astrea, but he's at least poking and prodding, trying to figure out where that 3rd command center is going to end up. He's going to take the overgold, also known as the gold. Or no, he's not. He's going to fly off into the sunset. And you're not going to stop him. Wait, where is he going? The world may not... No, okay. This is, you're not an overlord. You know that, right? You know you're not an overlord. Okay. He's not... He identifies as an overlord, okay? No, sit down! Sit down, Billy! What are you doing up there? Hey! Oh, what? The force field to try to stop a Marine seems a little excessive. Does he? He does it with the scan! Oh my god, it literally could not be closer. He doesn't spot the undergold. Because who's gonna expand there? Dream with a great scan if it is straight expanded to the other side. But he didn't. Now he's mined through the wall in the center, the mineral wall, the golden wall, even though it's blue. It's the new blue gold, brought to you by De Beers, the best beers. Well, plenty of vision for Astrea with a perimeter outside Dreams. Why worry about your base when you could worry about theirs? And Astrea says, hey, you have a drop. It's right there. Dream says, well, that's quite a baseless accusation, my 2-base friend. Little does he know. There are 3 Nexi. I like the pseudo-contain Astrea is doing. But what happens when he takes this base, though? Well, there's a pylon behind it. He's gonna go all the way over. There's a Templar. Everybody's just going every which way. This prism is still back here. It's been chilling. Forgotten to the sands of time, and more importantly, Dream. The sensor tower is very helpful here. The scan. Ah! Stop it, Dream! Dream! Use your imagination! Come on, have a dream! Be creative! Maybe he expanded down here.
That field's been mined out.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Wow, that explains it. I don't know what it explains, but it explains something. What? Jimmy! Can you check that forecast? Okay. The storm drop coming up. Some casual map Templar. They're indigenous to the middle of the map. A lot of people don't know that Templar actually grow from photosynthesis. With a whole lot of sunlight and solarite. And solarite can be used for so much. Shut up, Carrix! Now is not the time, nor is almost ever. what does Solar Light stand for? Sun minerals. Ah, Jesus. Tessadar. Or Phoenix, or... And on the third expansion, Phoenix rose again to save Artanis from losing his plot armor. And Taro. So, Dream has scouted everywhere but the most important places on the map, which are where the army is and where the expansions are. Oh, well, unfortunately though for Astrea, he still doesn't, oh my god, he still doesn't see the goal. But, that's a whole lot of Terran. Despite all this, the upgrade's quite low, the army supply is very high, he figures it out, he knows the undergold has been taken, he drops out, jams his tanks into a very effective position, and it's gonna be ridiculously hard. Wait a second, he's already mined most of the gold. Astrea not too mad about having to give this up for now, because he's technically on 4 bases. So is Dream, but much more technically. No, these probes are having a bad day. But here comes Astrea, just gonna attack directly in, up a ramp. But the Templar, full energy, massive storms across the board. But is it enough to actually break through? The Stalkers themselves, without Zealots to cover, devastating on both sides. So much damage. It looks like it's gonna be near even. At the end of the day, everyone dies. But Astrea, this being his side of the map, losing all those probes, lost so much more. What are the upgrades? 1, 2. +2 armor is done, but oh, the feedback's decent. Now we need some Archons. Gets it at the last possible second. With 18 probes dead, he's in a rough scenario, but charge slots with armor. Oh, the Archons can't get through because they didn't finish mining the last 50 minerals. With the force field, I'm not locked in here with you! The golden wall will stop him, but not before murdering several more bio units. Astrea holds, and somehow he holds this. You really need to mine this mineral patch, my friend. Just get that out of there. The only worker's the only effective way to mine through this wall. Was that a Templar or a Zealot? I think it was a Zealot. The middle mineral wall has almost been mined through. The Probe and the Templar standing guard. The Probe and the Templar. One of my favorite books in Skyrim. Everyone has forgotten about this prism still. I have no idea if it tried to come in, but it seems like it turned. It used to be facing the other direction, and now it's not, but I am not 100% sure. You know what? Here it is. You remember, this is like the Season 1 character who died and then comes back to life in Season 6 when they run out of ideas. But it's like a different version of them. They're changed. Everyone thought they were dead, including like the main characters, but guess what? It wasn't dead. It was slumbering, waiting for its moment. And its moment, well, we will see. Whenever that prism is remembered, whenever they unlock the ancient texts and read the prophecy and find the chosen one and understand how important it is that important people live, that prism. Okay, now we're stretching it out. We can't cover everything, just 90% of most stories. And here it is, the chosen one. Your time is now. Going into the main, right as Dream is halfway across the map. Astrea down 30 supply, but the Warpin! The huge Warpin that never was, like, 12 minutes ago. A little more than that. But these charge lots, going for +3 attack! +3 attack is probably the most important thing. The most important singular thing you could get here. He's gonna lose the charge slots, but denying +3 gives him a lot of time. Oh my god, Dream's only at +2, +1. So that means the upgrade advantage will hold for Astrea, which is his only chance of actually trading with these bio units. Sure, you got splash damage. You got more forms of splash damage than a goddamn tsunami. But at the end of the day, if they have enough medevacs and bio units left over with this much, I have no idea how many bases that Dream is effectively mining from but oh yeah, you guys get out of. If you're here when I explode, then you're gonna be real sorry, bio boys. Like, all right, okay, we're leaving. Meanwhile, attack to the north, but there's not enough bio to push through. There is plenty. The Nexus got EMP'd. No recall, no nothing. Down it goes. Meanwhile, big trades to the north. Dream darting in towards the main. A whole lot more bio towards the center. It's unclear who's, like, Dream is back in the lead in income. The upgrades are kind of a mess. The map doesn't make sense anymore. This is, I don't know who's choking more points or harder. As I barely strangled that sentence out. Widow Mines with Armory is just a constant annoyance. Where are observers? How many robos? What is happening? 3 robos? We got 1 at the natural, 1 in the main, and what? Oh, 2 at the natural. The Brobos are back in town. Widow Mine gets taken out. The income, about even. Army value heavily in favor of Dream, as has a tendency to happen when both players are near maxed out and one has way more workers. That's a lot of Terran. That is a lot of Terran, a lot of ghosts, great EMPs, landed all across the front lines, but that doesn't solve everything. Doesn't matter how much you EMP. If those disruptors, when you better get away. I'm coming. I don't have much HP, but I'm very angry. It takes me a long time to get ready, so you better not be here. Meanwhile, though, that's a huge bio army, but a lot of danger balls to counter it. Whipping them out one after another, after another, after another. How many disruptors? 7 disruptors on the field. Meanwhile, though, Dream has 10 ghosts, a very scary army haunting the nightmares of Astrea. This base is still technically mining, despite everything that's happened. Bioforce to the north. Another disruptor shot. Storms landing. Oh, another one for the north. You get out of here, boys. Oh, a lot of ghosts die. Astrea in a supply lead. 17 ghosts have died. They're still brawling it out. This bio army needs to get a whole lot of damage done. But Astrea, it feels like a Brood War game right now, with random units all over the map. Great storm, but EMPs the counter picks up, gets out, can heal up. Forward tank positioning. Stalkers obliterated. He's looking for another angle here. The disruptor. Another one. Goes for the curve. Another shot. Another one. Another one. More bio coming in. The Pondon not targeted. Zealots will finish their warping. The upgrades 3-3 to 2-2 across the board. Still an upgrade advantage for Astrea is letting him go toe-to-toe with these bio units without a huge amount of splash damage. What is even going on? That's like 3 Marauders and 2 Ghosts. It's not that scary. Meanwhile, this is happening. Vikings on the ground. Why were there Vikings in the first place? The world may never know. A nuclear missile is in production. Finally, Astrea holds on to his base and a 30 supply lead. It's not like Dream is out of this yet, though. Dream is pretty much untouched. The one thing I'm surprised we haven't seen yet is a Dark Shrine. Not a single Dark Shrine. Not 1, not 2, not more. It would be confusing if he had more than 1, but you never know. This game's getting pretty crazy right now. The tank's holding a very dangerous position, but Dream not yet able to actually break through. He's trying to come down the ramp. He's caught between a rock and a hard place. On the other side, there's a lot of tanks holding position, but here come the Zealots. Here comes the big break from Astrea. All front, south and north, breaking down the ramp. Where are the disruptors? They're gone. The Zealots EMP'd. The tanks trying to hold. It looks like Astrea just barely might kind of a little have enough-ish. The battle continues. More charge lots. He pushes him back from the base. The probes are getting in on the action. They needed some help. Shoots a zealot. Angry probes. Both die. Disruptor on the field. Dream is knocked back. There's a zealot here because he mined through the golden wall. Dream is forced to pull back. The supplies are even. Water balloons assaulting that turret, and the turret does not work well when wet. +3, +2 against 3-3. Everybody calms down and goes back to their side. Nuclear missile is still on the table. Wait, we gotta be professional. You know how to be professional? You'll see it in a moment. What you do? You set an actual camera location. No, don't tell them. Don't give up our tricks. He's gonna drop a random amount of units. I mean, 2 medevacs full. Astrea now on the offensive, cautiously, as he's kind of not used to being in a position where he can take the initiative, based on how this game has gone so far. Somehow we're mining pretty much all the bases but the center. Oh, a whole lot of zealots coming down here, but he could just pick up, right? Like, is there enough damage down here? Shield upgrades do affect buildings, but nothing else does. The feedback! We are very unhappy with your activities. It's like, sir, you ordered a Nexus removal service. Oh, towards the main. And are you surprised? Like, we didn't order that! Well, we had our orders, so I gotta... 0 stars! Oh, he deep... The Artosis... The tasteless nuke depowering all the Artosis pylons at 2 tasteless. It depowered the whole main, except for, like, 2 gateways. What a play! Very dead ghost! Shouldn't have tagged along with that, dude. I had to make the noise because you guys couldn't hear the nuke, right? Otherwise, another Nexus under fire. Not much focus here. The probes on the run! Wait. What? They're fine. Not that I think... he doesn't really need this many probes. Somehow this base will live the entire game. So that kind of defines exactly the radius of the nuke. For those who are wondering. He's out of... His work here is done. Everyone's slowing down. More nukes on the way. That's a lot of disruptors. 9 disruptors. Oh, another nuke! Oh, full broadside. But the nuke, Astrea sees it, and some very lucky probes leave. The other will die, freeing up supply the nuclear way. That's a lot of bio. Oh, that's so much army supply for both sides as the worker counts are starting to be whittled down. Does he have another nuke? He does not, but the armies are all over the place right now. A broadside again! Curves it out! I don't even know what's happening here! Just a shotgun spread of disruptors! Planetary! Dead! Bio! Chasing! Nuke! Launch! Top right! Does Astrea even hear it? Does he know? Does he see? He does! Back to the corner. Meanwhile, though, Astrea moving up north. There's not much power to defend. Where are these charge lots going? They're taking the most dangerous safari. And if you look on your left, you'll see a bunch of Marines. What are those? Ignore those. It's perfectly safe. It's being launched at the other side of the map. That's my house! Uh-oh. Oh, he doesn't see this one. He doesn't. Oh, no. That's a big one. It just takes one. And now Astrea is barely mining. The nukes are landing. He's building quadruple nukes. But Dream doesn't have that much money. That Zealot's house flattened. Four nukes finishing. The army supplies. Astrea still holding. Is this... The ghost is cloaked. Does Astrea see it? You gotta look across the map. The panic is there. More cannons. We'll see. He doesn't have the energy anymore. Alright. Meanwhile, a whole lot of charge lots and a couple Templar getting in on the action. Spots a majority of the army. Dream not even trying to take that northern base. We're expanding. Like, the only bases left are the bottom center bases. Which is... What a game. a handful of Marauders. How many Disruptors have been lost? 11. Still somehow maxed out, but this is the last time. They're running out of money. They're running out of income. This is it. These armies cannot very easily at all be rebuilt. They've got maybe 1 or 2 bases left to work on. You've got to be very careful with what you have left. I gotta stop doing that. Astrea! Watch out! He runs. I mean, technically, if you see, you don't really want to do that. The tanks cannot recall the last mining base of Dream. A fitting potential end. A massive base trade. Are there more nukes? The Nexus itself is potentially vulnerable. This isn't a planetary. That was the main. He recalls into a shotgun blast. Isn't enough. He kills a lot. Everybody's taking a lot of damage. This is super, super, super dead. Which is even more dead than usual. Somehow he's done all this without a Dark Shrine. Imagine if he had a Dark Shrine. Where's your cheesy Protoss, Astrea? What are you doing? The production is gone. Dream cannot build anymore. He cannot rally anymore. That is over. That will never be happening again. The recall is on cooldown, which means anything that was going to be coming home has come home. At least for the foreseeable future. Oh, the ghost! Slam! But the tanks themselves still under so much stress and danger. The main base is cleared out by Astrea. No more barracks, no more factories, no more command centers or starports. They're all gone. Dream has just the little bit of production at his third and himself in this game. We still have the tank push going on. Astrea has kept it together. The Disruptor's good long-term efficiency units. The Bio Army is desperate. There's still a lot of supply tied up on the other side. There's a full energy Templar. Dream is trying to make it happen. There's a big army. Astrea's also losing his production. The tanks are a major threat. The tanks actually... There's enough tanks here with +2 attack to kill the Raptors! No! If Astrea just closes everything in, or gets a recall, and recall is only about 30 seconds out, Dream has to make moves now. Astrea's still maxed. Dream has to do something. Oh, this is... There's still plenty of charge lots here. He's losing a lot, actually, with all those tanks involved. Astrea's about to have recall. +3 shields. Maximum upgrades. This is it. The last play for Dream. Oh, God. He tried to out-micro himself. That Disruptor actually got drawn in. But that's a big army supply gap. And recall is off cooldown. Here it comes. What? Astrea, why are you grouping up like that if you're not... Meanwhile, though, the main base for however many times, he's just going for the tanks. Wait, what? No, you don't hold position there! He had the wrong hotkey! Dream is out of base. He's not mining. He hasn't been mining. Oh, this is a very, maybe not the best attack path. Astrea has held. He's bent. He's bent, and he's bent so many different degrees, and different angles, and different flexibilities. But despite his proficiency in yoga, he did not break. Despite the nukes, despite the multi-pronged pressures, despite the tank pushes, the 4 shades of Protoss will come out on top of this one. Dream may be a little too cute. Didn't focus, didn't build a single Liberator, but instead built half a dozen or more nuclear missiles. So, will that end up costing him? Almost certainly, I think. He's going to float his buildings to the corner because there's a time limit. Or, well, he has a dream. Fly, you fools. Astrea takes it. Without building even the shrine of Fear Dragon's iconic unit. What a game. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to check out the StarCraft 2 YouTube channel once you've watched all of my videos, liked and subscribed as well. Rung the bell and said, Winter, why weren't you in the War Chest Team League? Because none of them drafted me. That's a good question. Maybe next time. Thank you for watching. Good luck and have fun.